Asked further questions about the legality of President Donald Trump's immigration restrictions. Members of Colombia's ELN left-wing rebel group and government negotiators have started talks to try and end 50 years of conflict. A traffic ban's being imposed in the Somali capital Mogadishu ahead of a presidential vote, and the UK government's Brexit legislation faces its final vote to clear the House of Commons later, with the bill expected to pass.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM, good morning to you on your Wednesday. It's February 8th, 2017. This is Community Conversations. Kato Wonder is in the studio with you. My usual co-host, Mrs. Quabila Harden, is not with us today. She's a little under the weather, so we definitely want to keep Mrs. Quabila lifted up in prayer that she has a speedy recovery and is back in the saddle very shortly. Today on Community Conversations, we originally were supposed to have Jonesboro Mayor Harold Perrin in the studio, but Mayor Perrin had a schedule conflict. He was unable to make it. So joining us today is Mr. Wixson Huffstetler, who is the City Parks and Recreations Director, so we are appreciative of Mr. Huffstetler willing to fill in at the last minute for Mayor Perrin. We're going to talk about his role at Parks and Recreation, as well as some of the things that are going on with Parks and Recreation. So how are you doing today, Mr. Huffstetler?
Good, sir. How are you?
All right, doing good. So for those who may not know who you are, just tell a little bit about yourself and what you do as far as being the Parks and Recreations Director for the City of Jonesboro.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the city. I'm from Jonesboro. I graduated from Jonesboro High School and Arkansas State University here. I run all the parks and cemeteries that's owned by the city in Jonesboro, and we run all the youth programs and adult programs for sports. And it's a big, fast-paced job, as I like to say.
Okay, well, see, I just learned a little something right there. I didn't know that you were also over the cemeteries. I thought just, when you think Parks and Recreation, you think about the various parks and the buildings and the Miracle League field, but I didn't know that the cemeteries were a part of it. I remember someone once told me that a way that people judge a city is first they look at your schools and then they look at your cemeteries, and they want to make sure that, because they're looking at how you treat the youngest among you and those among you who are no longer with us. And of course, if you ride by any of the cemeteries or any of the parks in Jonesboro, they're definitely kept up in great shape, which is a testament to your staff and the hard work that they do.
Yeah, unfortunately, being in the cemetery business it's a tough business because you're dealing with families that've lost a loved one, and time for time things do go wrong, but it's good. It's a lot of work. We actually own and operate 4 cemeteries here in Jonesboro, and my staff does a great job of keeping the cemeteries up to date and clean and run it as a first class. So.
And one of the other things that you mentioned was that you all have sports and different programs in addition to the parks. So let's talk about some of the different sports that the city offers in the facilities that they offer.
Okay. Right now, we offer a lot of sports. We're growing every year and adding new things. Right now, we just got done finishing signing up for our winter basketball program. We have 967 kids signed up. It's the most we've ever had. So we're looking forward to getting starting that on February 18th. We're in the process of signing up for youth softball and adult and co-ed softball. Also, baseball sign-ups are going on right now, and that'll be all in the spring. And then the summer, we'll flip to, and soccer too. I'm sorry, we're signed up for soccer too. And then the summer, we'll flip back to basketball and target golf.
What's Target Golf?
Target Golf is a new program we started about 3 or 4 years ago that kind of just introduces the game to kids. We have it out at Craighead Forest Park. There's 6 little holes that we've created with targets, and we teach the basics of the golf swing and the golf grip, and then pair the kids up on teams, and you hit the golf ball into a target, and we have the target in different colors, and depending on where the ball lands in the target, it's different points.
Okay, so we might have the next Arnold Palmer or Tiger Woods out there.
That's right. You never know. So, the city doesn't own a golf course. So, me being a golfer and played college golf, I wanted to integrate golf somehow into the parks. And that's the best way I could come up with without having a city-owned golf course. So
we are speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler. He is the City Parks and Recreations Director. Now, Mr. Huffstetler, you said there's not a city-owned golf course. Do you think there might be plans for one in the future?
Probably not. Golf courses are money pits for sure. It's a lot of upkeep, a lot of staff, and we have three courses here in Jonesboro, and that's plenty for this town.
Okay, so does the city have like a contract or a relationship with either of those existing privately owned courses?
Yes, we don't have contracts. We have great working relationships. They're very giving and giving donating equipment and golf balls to my program, and we'll also the golf pros every now and then will come out and teach a day for me. So,
well, that's good that the city has that relationship with those golf courses. And one of the other things that the city has is new tennis courts that have just recently been installed at Earl Bell. So let's talk about those and some of the tennis programs that are offered.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We were fortunate enough to get a grant through Arkansas Parks and Tourism this past year to resurface the 3 existing tennis courts over at Earl Bell. We actually rebuilt them. We didn't just resurface them. They were in very bad shape. They've been there for a long, long time. And so we actually rebuilt 3 new courts, and we are looking to open those, I would probably say, in March. They're pretty much done. We just got a few things left to do dirt work-wise around it. And we'll get the nets up, and those courts are free to first come, first serve play. And so they're used very heavily in that part of town. So we're looking forward to it. I know the people that use them are excited about it. We've changed the color scheme up a little bit. Usually tennis courts are green and white. And we went with an aqua blue and charcoal gray and with white lines, so it really stands out.
Okay, well, I'm sure it's something that people enjoy. I know Dr. Wilbur Gaines will enjoy that. I know he's an avid tennis player. So, Dr. Gaines, if you're listening, you might want to check that out. And you talk about how the tennis courts have been resurfaced. We also have newly resurfaced basketball court also at Earl Bell. So let the listeners know about that.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, the basketball court that was there was an old rubber court, actually the court I played on as a kid. So it had exceeded its life, and I switched the rubber out to a new hardwood court, which has been very popular in the community for all the basketball players. And every 2 years we have to just have it stripped down and recoated, and we just finished that 2 weeks ago. And so it's new and shiny again and sticky, and the community is, like I said, you can pick up a game any time of the day over there from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. There is that gym stays packed with youth and adults playing basketball. So.
All right, well, that definitely sounds good. We're speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler. He is the Parks and Recreations Director for the City of Jonesboro. Now, you mentioned all of these, and we have a call. Let's go to the phone. Okay. KLEK, who's this? KLEK? Hello?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Miss Farrell.
How you doing?
Fine, about yourself?
Hey, good morning to your guests.
Can you hear Miss Farrell, Mr. Huffstetler?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, he can hear you.
Okay, I can't hardly hear you. I don't know what's wrong with my phone, but I wanted to ask a question about the Llewellyn Park. I understand that the mayor had, I guess, I don't know if it was a grant or whatever, but some money had been appropriated last year, and I understand that we're going to be getting some new work done there, and I would like to know what it is going to consist of. I have a passion for that part because I also played it as a kid, and I see it used quite a bit, well, a lot in the summertime and through the winter too. And I'd like to know what is going to take place and when. I'm going to hang up and listen for your answer.
All right, thank you for the call, Mrs. Farrell. Mrs. Farrell is asking, what are your plans, or what are the city's plans for Llewellyn Park?
Yeah, Miss Farrell, she's a very advocate for that park. She does a great job in letting me know what's going on over there and what the needs are. So this year I have CDBG money for that park, and we're going to put in a new playground called a Venti playground. It's a new age style playground. 20 means 20, and so there'll be 20 different features in this playground, different features for the kids to play on. And then also...
Now, when you mean features, kind of like different workstations or...
different slides, rock wall climbing features, bridges, all different kind of stuff in it.
And we wish I was a kid.
I know, it's a neat system. This will be the first one in this part of the state, actually, so I'm very excited about it. And then the second part we're going to do is the pavilion over there is in very bad shape, so I'm going to tear that pavilion down. It's a very small pavilion. There's a lot of people that like to go over there and hang out and have events, and so we're going to put in a new 20 by 40 shade top pavilion with a new concrete slab and new picnic tables. So it's going to be a great feature to that park. And then when that's all done, I'm going to redo the fencing on the west and north side of the park and put some decorative black chain link fencing around it to help to keep the kids from running out in the road. Right now there's only one side of the park that's fenced, and I just want to put a small 4-foot fence in around it like our other parks, some of our other parks have, just to control the kids from keeping them from having to wander off into the road. So it's going to be a big update to that park this year, and we're really looking forward to it. I've got the pavilion and the playground is on order, so I look for it to be here within probably the next 6 to 7 weeks, and then they'll start the install after that.
All right, so you heard from Mr. Wixson Huffstetler, the Parks and Recreations Director for the City of Jonesboro. And of course, Mrs. Farrell will be watching, so she's gonna be she's gonna be looking for that construction equipment to come out there.
She's great. She really is. She every time I see her out in the community, she talks to me about it and offers her what she thinks needs to be done.
All right, and we're just talking about you, Mrs. Farrell. Turn your radio down.
Well, I'm just back again.
All right.
I didn't know. I was going to ask, are we going to have a walking trail? We had talked about that once because of the senior citizens in the area.
You mean a walk? Did you say a walking trail?
Because these dogs are just terrible.
Did you say a walking trail? The phone kind of cut off.
Plans for that in the future. I'm going to just hang up again.
Yeah, I think it was Farrell. I think she said a walking trail. I think her phone kind of cut off for a second, but I think she said anything about a walking trail over there.
Yes. Right now there is no plans for a walking trail. That park is so little. To be able to build a walking trail around it, it would take up a lot of the park. It would we would have to move one of the pieces of the playground equipment. There's a great walking trail that's located right behind Parker Park there at Miles Park. It goes around Miles Park. I think it's right at a quarter of a mile in one lap. So as of right now, Ms. Farrell, there's not. But maybe in the future, it would take a lot to have to move some of the equipment that's there. So.
Well, maybe would it be possible to do it somewhere nearby? Maybe city acquire some land.
Yeah, possibly. And we're working on the master plan for the Greenway Trail and connecting North Jonesboro to downtown, then also the other parts of Jonesboro to downtown. So
now we've been talking about when we are speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler, Parks and Recreations Director for the City of Jonesboro. Now we've been talking about some of the various improvements to the existing parks and new projects coming forward now, but those who may not know, how does the city actually afford to pay for all of this?
That's a big question I get asked a lot, and really we need more funding than what we have. A lot of this is paid for through grants opportunities that we have, and a lot of it is paid for through my budget, through capital improvement, through the city's funds. So we've got to find some different avenues of funding because we are falling behind compared to other cities in the state and in the country. Yes, do we have a great park system? Absolutely. Do we need more like aquatic center and multi-purpose facility for basketball and volleyball? Yes, but those are such big ticket items. We've got to figure out how to pay for that.
And I know one thing that the mayor has talked about is like public-private partnerships, such as securing name rights, getting donations, grants from various businesses, so that less city money will have to be spent on these parks. So I know the mayor is working hard on that. Moving on, once again, we are speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler. He is the City Parks and Recreations Director for the City of Jonesboro. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the newly acquired land, at Joe Mack Campbell Park, and what are the plans for that?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough, the Lacey family, I've been working with that family for almost 4 years now to acquire that land that's adjacent to Joe Mack Campbell Park. That Joe Mack Campbell Park is a great facility for soccer and baseball, and we play football out there too, and we're just out of room. So we were able to acquire 72 acres there And the plans are right now is in the future to build the aquatic center there. So an indoor Olympic-sized pool facility with some kind of splash pad play feature inside, and then also extend Joe Mack into it. We need some more baseball and soccer and football fields, and then hopefully also a multi-purpose facility there too.
Also, seem like a lot of things are coming to the area, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Now, what is the latest progress at Craighead Forest Park as far as the walking trail, exercise equipment, and anything else that's coming out there?
So we're done with phase 1 and 2 out at Craighead Forest Park. It's completely open. All the exercise equipment is up, so the actual trail itself is done. This year we'll be coming in and building a new road on the north side of the park. The existing road that goes behind the dam there will actually become the trail once the new road is built. And when that's done, you'll have a complete 3.2 mile loop around Craighead Forest Park that the walkers, runners, and bikers will be able to be on and stay off the road out there. Now the bicycles can ride either or, but the walkers and runners will have to use the trail. It's just there's so much traffic out there now because the park, my staff and the city and the citizens have done a great job in the last 5 years updating that park and really making it nice family atmosphere, that there's just too much traffic for pedestrian and vehicular traffic to be on the road. So that's why we came up with the idea to build this trail inside the road for people to be able to exercise daily out there.
Once again, we are speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler, Director of Parks and Recreations for the City of Jonesboro. Now, one of the other parks that has gotten a lot of attention, you talk about the attention that Craighead Forest Park has gotten, but Allen Park has also gotten a lot of attention and a lot of positive comments and compliments from people out of town. So I'll just share a little bit of that feedback that you've gotten and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Allen Park is another hidden jewel that a lot of people don't know about, especially out of town folks. But we've been hosting a lot of volleyball and basketball tournaments there, and the same as Parker Park. They're the exact same buildings and gyms, and volleyball and basketball has grown so much we're having to even branch out from our community centers to the school gyms. And but we just hosted a volleyball tournament this past weekend that had 72 teams in it, and everybody was just in awe of the community center that we have at Allen Park, how nice it is and how big it is. And the whole facility, you have a playground, you've got a splash pad, you've got 12 tennis courts, you've got a walking trail, you've got practice football or soccer field. So it's just a great one-stop shop for that area.
All right, once again, we're speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler, Director of Parks and Recreations for the City of Jonesboro. Now, one of the things that's getting a lot of talk in the city is the upcoming gun range. Now, does that fall under Parks and Recreation?
Yes, it will. It will be underneath me. I will manage it and maintain it once we get it up and built. So it's going to be a huge thing for the city. It's going to be a huge draw. It's going to be a great economical impact for the city once we can get this thing built and open.
Okay, and what are some of the features it will have, and what is the anticipated time frame for getting it up and running?
It'll have nine trap lanes with 3 overlay of skeet. It'll have a long rifle and a pistol range. It'll have a 3D archery range and also a bow range. And then in the middle, there'll be a nice, huge clubhouse. It'll have a pro shop, restroom facility, a big meeting room, concession stand, places to sit and buy a fire, and it'll have TVs, outdoor TVs and fans, and it's just going to be a great atmosphere. Like I said, it'll be a big draw to the city for competitions and also for our local schools to be able to practice it. Most of our schools have trap teams. Several are state championships. Then Arkansas State has a trap team that won the national championship a few years ago. So right now we're still in the process of doing mitigation on the land that we're wanting to purchase for this project. Anytime you're using federal funds, it's a long process. So we're in the process of finishing the mitigation wetlands with them, and then hopefully after that we can purchase the land and move forward with construction.
All right, so will they also have concealed carry classes there?
Yes, there'll be concealed carry classes there.
All right, so definitely be a lot of things for all of the gun enthusiasts out there. Once again, we are speaking with Mr. Wixson Huffstetler. He is Park and Recreation Director for the City of Jonesboro. All right, Mr. Huffstetler, any other parks news, dreams that you may have for the kids or families, just anything that's coming up in the future, anything that you'd like to talk about that we did not cover?
The biggest thing I would like to talk about is just, we have all these youth that play sports, and obviously we have to have coaches. And so we're always short on coaches when it comes down to getting the season started. And so I would just encourage you to step up and volunteer and coach 1 or 2 or 3 teams. I'm coaching a team in basketball myself, and it's a lot of fun to be able to see the kids go out and enjoy sports and have a good time with their friends. But we need coaches. We always need coaches. We never have enough. And I would just encourage you, if you want to get involved, to go to jonesboro.org and go under Parks and Recreation and look at all the sports that we offer and fill out a form and coach for us.
All right, so once again, the call has been put out. City of Jonesboro is definitely looking for coaches for all of the various leagues and projects that they have going on. In our final moments of this segment, how can people get in touch with you if they have ideas, concerns, questions? How can they get in contact with you?
They can go to jonesboro.org, and my office number is there, and also with my email. And with any concerns or ideas, please shoot me an email, and I will definitely respond back quickly. And we can definitely set up meetings to meet or look at different projects, or if you have a concern about a certain area, we can definitely try to help out and fix the concern.
All right, once again, that website is jonesboro.org. That is jonesboro.org. Also, you can look up City of Jonesboro on Facebook, and you can get the contact information there. We want to thank Mr. Wixson Huffstetler for stopping by the studio today to let all of the listeners know about the various things coming on in the city. We're going to get ready to go to break. Coming up in our next segment, Mrs. Shamell Ewing. She's going to talk about her experience with the KLEK County District Court Amnesty Program. Don't go anywhere. This is the KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. If you or your organization would like to partner with KLEK to make the Jonesboro community a better place, call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. In order for a community announcement or church announcement to be aired on KLEK 102.5 FM, we ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance. Thank you for supporting KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Cato Wonder is in the studio with you. My co-host, Mrs. Quabila Harden, is not with us today. She is a little under the weather. So once again, we definitely extend our thoughts and prayers to Mrs. Quabila for a speedy recovery. Our next segment, we have Miss Shamell Ewing in the studio today. She is a local citizen, and she recently took part in the KLEK County District Court Amnesty Program. The Amnesty Program was put together by KLEK County District Court judges Thomas Fowler and David Bowling to assist people who have gotten behind on fines, public service work, who may have warrants, to give them another chance to get their lives straightened out. And of course, the program has been ongoing. This Friday is the last day, starting at 9:00 a.m. So if you have not participated in the program, definitely encourage you to do so. In fact, get there early. Make sure that you get a chance to get seen by the judge so that you can get your situation taken care of. The program is legit. I actually went by last Friday, and I actually sat for about an hour and a half, and I just kind of observed Judge Fowler was handling court, and I definitely saw people of various situations who got warrants squashed, got payment plans as low as $25. Judge Fowler was definitely accommodating and listening, and he was definitely willing to help. So we're going to go ahead and bring our guest on today. How you doing today, Miss Ewing?
I'm fine.
All right, Miss Ewing, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, my name is Shamell Ewing. I'm from Jonesboro, Arkansas. I'm 28 years of age, and I've been here all my life.
All right, Mrs. Ewing. Now, what were your original charges that ended up getting you kind of caught up in the system, I guess if they say?
Driving on suspended.
Okay, so you were driving on a suspended, and what was your original sentence? For this charge?
Well, they told me they wanted me to do about 3 or 4 days and probably like maybe a 500 PPR. That was when Blackman was here.
Okay, so you had $500 fine paid before release, and you had 3 days of jail. Did you have any community service assigned to that as well?
Yes, they had 20 hours of community service.
Okay, and were you able to complete your sentence?
No.
Okay, what was the circumstances? If you care to talk about, if you don't, if it's a private matter, we do understand.
I guess what caused me to kind of, you saying what caused me to get behind?
Yes, what caused you to not be able to complete your sentence, like not pay off the entire fine or whatnot?
Oh, is trying to keep my job.
Okay, so you had some difficulties with employment, which made you fall behind on your financial obligation to pay your fine.
Yes, and as far as that, getting pulled over back to back, also having to continuously bond out, kind of, got in my little pockets a little bit and caused me to get behind.
Okay, so I understand. So basically your situation was you had this $500 fine originally. You were paying on it, but you had some job difficulties and you were unable to make the payments, and then there were warrants issued, and then you would get stopped by police. They would see that you had warrants on, and then next thing you know, you're back in court, and now you've got additional fines tacked on there. So now you owe more money, and you're still trying to maintain employment or get new employment to pay these fines, and you kind of seem like you're getting into a pattern. You get stopped. They see that you got the original fine plus new fines because you got pulled over a previous time, and so you're on this hamster wheel where these fines keep piling up, and every time you get pulled over, that's you back in court, and that's another fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you first hear about the amnesty program?
I heard about it maybe like last year, but I never went in front of a judge. This was my first time actually going in front of a judge, and I actually heard about it on here.
All right, well, we're certainly glad that we were able to get the word out for you. Now, when you first heard about it, because there were some people in the community that were skeptical, that didn't believe that this was for real. We definitely saw some comments, some people that were afraid. In fact, the numbers kind of backed it up. The first week that they had the program, they had a few people that came, but it wasn't as many as probably people would have expected. But once that initial group of people came in and they participated in the program, and they started telling other people, say, hey, this, they're really doing this for real. That's, I think, when you seen the massive increase of people. So were you skeptical when you first heard about it?
Yeah, I was. I thought maybe I was gonna get arrested because I knew, I had non-payment and a FTA, and just knowing with the FTA, I probably would have went to jail. And so I thought about it, and then I was just like, I saw Judge Bolin on here, and so I was just like, I'll go ahead and give it a try, and hope that he keeps his word, that they won't arrest us. And I went, and I did not get arrested.
All right, so you heard heard an interview with Judge Bolin on Community Conversations, and you decided to take a leap of faith and to go to the amnesty program. Now,
right.
Which judge did you see?
I actually saw Judge Fowler.
Okay, and tell us about your experience when you went in front of Judge Fowler. What did he say to you, and how did he process your situation?
Well, they looked at it and saw that I had warrants, and I told him that I needed help, getting set back up on the payment plan, and he squashed the warrants, and he set me back up on the payment plan for $50 a month. And then I asked him if he could help me get my driver's license back, because this has been a repeating cycle. Every time I go out, I get pulled over and I end up back in jail. And so he told me to come back and see him in 2 weeks, and that he will help me get my license back, and probably do more than that, like as far as helping me with the unnecessary fines that I had piled up on me. So I'm guessing he's going to help me with that too. He's an awesome judge. He's really a great judge.
All right, and we certainly thank you for those sentiments. And also, I want to add to that, when I went last week and observed Judge Fowler in court, there were some people who are in similar situations who he helped to reinstate their driver's license. So not only in this amnesty program do you get your old fines reduced, warrants quashed, they're also working with you to get your license back. They're even working. There was one case that I saw where they worked with a guy that didn't have insurance. But basically, Judge Fowler told the gentleman, if you can come back with a piece of paper showing that you had insurance on the day that the incident took place, then we would get it taken care of. So Judge Fowler and Judge Bowling are definitely reaching out and helping people. All right, once again, we are speaking with Mrs. Shamell Ewing, local citizen who has went through the KLEK County District Court Amnesty Program. All right, is there anything else that you would like to say to anyone out there listening about the Amnesty Program?
Yes, if you guys have warrants, go turn yourself in. As far as like going to the Amnesty Program, it's not so much as turning yourself in, but go to the Amnesty Program and see the judge. He's not going to arrest you. He's not going to, bring up anything as long as you don't have felony warrants. If you have misdemeanor warrants with the city, county warrants or anything, go Friday. Go talk to the judge. He's very understanding. I respect him, and I just feel like everyone should go be a part of it, because this is right now is the best time to get your warrants taken care of.
All right, and we want to thank you, Mrs. Ewing, for those thoughts. The Amnesty Program, the last day for this round is going to be this Friday, starting at 9 o'clock a.m., and I definitely want to encourage you to get there early, because if it's anything like last week, it's going to be full. In fact, the entire courtroom was full. It was standing room only. The hallway was full. There was even people standing outside the building, and it's probably only going to be more than that. So if you want to make sure that you get heard, I definitely encourage you. In fact, I'd probably get there. In fact, I'd probably spend the night before, camp out, and make sure that you're there, because we definitely want as many people as possible to get in on this program. Judge Fowler and Judge Bowling, after this, they will evaluate the program, and they may bring it back, and if they do, then we will definitely let each and every one of you know if they do decide to bring this program back, so that we can help as many citizens as possible. Ms. Ewing, we want to once again thank you for stopping by the studio. We're going to get ready. We're going to get ready to go to break. You're listening to Community Conversations. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.